In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the MotoCaddy S1 electric cart and whether or not it's worth picking up. Okay, so what we're going to be covering in this video are my first impressions of the cart, how it performed for me, who it's going to be best for, some pros and cons, and also where the best places to buy. So if you just are looking for the best and kind of like the cheapest place to buy, I will leave a link down in the description down below, and at the time of this video that was the best place we could find it, so you can go ahead and check out the current price if you want to go ahead and do so. But let's start with my first impression. So I've always kind of thought these electric carts were kind of dumb, but we actually know a guy who actually sells them, and he offered us to come out and test them out, so we couldn't really say no to that. So basically it's like a cart that has a motor on it. But basically if you're going uphill, it'll speed it up. If you're going downhill, it'll slow it down. And it's just kind of designed to basically make life in kind of like your effort a lot less out on the course. You're not going to feel as tired because you're not having to push something or carry something, that kind of thing. But basically on flat ground, all you really have to do is select what speed you want to go to. It's like 1 to 9, with 9 being the fastest, and then pretty much it'll go that speed. You just have to walk beside it, and then whenever you want to basically stop it, all you gotta do is pretty much press the button and it's gonna stop there until you turn the dial and you want to go again, right? So is it easy to use? It is pretty simple and straightforward actually to use. All you really have to do is turn the little dial. As you can see in the previous picture here, there's that little dial there. All you really have to do is turn that. It'll go from 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up, and then if you want to park it, you just simply press it, and that's all you really have to do. And then pretty much on most of the hills we tried, it didn't like roll away or anything like that. As long as you park it, generally it's gonna be fine. If it is a really steep hill, chances are it might possibly roll, and that's why it has a brake on it. So if you want a really steep hill, you can simply park it and then put on the brake, and then it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so some of the other carts we tested out, they had a lot more like functions or different like features, but they were a bit trickier getting used to them and all that kind of stuff. So what I like about this one is I like that it's really super simple and straightforward, and this was definitely one of the ones that I like better. Just because it wasn't like some of the other ones, they had some features on it that honestly I don't really think they needed. Like being able to follow you by a certain amount of distance and all that kind of like, that's kind of cool and everything, but like honestly, do you really need that on the course? And in my opinion, you don't. So I like keeping things simple, easy and simple, and this was definitely that. But how about performance? So the first thing I was expecting was for it to be kind of tough folding down and setting up and carrying it around, all that kind of stuff, but it was actually quite a bit easier than I first thought. I found it comfortable enough pushing it around, and it did look pretty cool, to be honest. Like I haven't always been a fan of it, but it was a pretty cool looking thing. It was a cool device, and I was definitely intrigued by it. But one the one we tried, actually it came with a lithium battery. Most of the new ones do, some of the older ones don't. But it was pretty quick to charge up and all that kind of stuff. And obviously we didn't try it for the longest period of time, but we were told that it's gonna last like 75 to 100 rounds depending on the course and how hilly your course is and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was completely fine. After that you can simply contact the manufacturer and you'll get a new battery for it, and then you'll be good to go for another 75 to 100 rounds. And for the average person, that's going to last years and years and years. So that was pretty cool as well. But let's talk about who it's for, who it's not for. So I would say, even though it's a pretty cool device, it's not going to be for someone who's tight on a budget or doesn't golf much. It is obviously it's on the lower end in terms of electric golf carts, but compared to like regular push carts, it's going to be quite a bit more. And the price is only going to be really worth it if you're going to be using it quite a bit. Otherwise, I'd recommend you go with a cheaper push cart, and then if you start golfing more, or if you save up for it, whatever, then you can go ahead and get one of these. But I would say if you are a little bit tight on a budget, or you're not going to golf much, it's probably not worth it. If you are someone who golfs a lot, I would definitely recommend it. But let's cover some pros. So it seemed to be very well built, durable, all that kind of stuff. It's on the lower end in terms of price compared to other electric carts, which was nice as well. It's a lot easier to use than some of the other carts. They made it do one thing and one thing really well, so they don't have all these other pretty much features that I personally don't think you need. So it was easy to use, and I definitely like that about it. And then I definitely wasn't as tired after the round as I normally was, like carrying your bag or using a push cart. Obviously it's going to be like you're in a electric golf cart. But yeah, those kind of the pros to it. How about some cons? So it doesn't have the automatic distance option, which a lot of people do want. I personally wouldn't want that in the golf cart. I don't think it's necessary. That's basically something that just you can set it so it'll follow, like 5 yards behind you or 10 yards behind you, and then it'll keep that distance. But honestly, all you really have to do is set it to a good speed and walk behind it, and you're pretty much good to go, right? But some people do want that, and that's one thing to note. And it is still pretty pricey for a golf cart. Obviously, like compared to electric golf carts, it's not going to be as much, but compared to regular standard push carts, it's going to be quite a bit more expensive. And then just like any battery out there, it's going to need to be replaced after a while. It's like 75 to 100 rounds, so depending on how much you golf, it's going to need to be replaced after a little bit. How about the breakdown? So performance score, I'll give it a 9. It performed really well. The power was good. The sturdiness was good. It seemed to be well made. All that kind of stuff. Price score, I'll give it a 6. It is towards the lower end in terms of electric, but it's still up there. Durability score, 10. I really think it was well made compared to some of the other ones out there, and it seemed like it'd be something that's going to last quite a while. And then my personal score was kind of an average out, would be about 8.5, which is pretty good. So, taking into account all that, is it going to be worth it? And I would say I thought this car was pretty damn cool, and I would say if you can afford it, I'd say go for it. I'm personally sticking with my push cart for now, just simply because I don't really want to cough up the cash at this time. But I think once my current cart, once that falls apart, once that breaks, I think I might be considering picking up one of these electric carts, and then going from there. But I think I'll just wait. I bought my push cart not too long ago, so I think I'll just wait out for maybe a couple seasons until that breaks or falls apart or whatever. Then I'll pick one up. Okay, so the cheapest place I could find this product is in the description down below. So we left a link there, and at the time of this video, that was the best place that we could find this electric golf cart. So you can go ahead and check out the current price if you want to go ahead and do so. And I'll just mention here our golf giveaway. So if you do want to enter into our monthly golf giveaway, simply follow the instructions here. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel, and then comment giveaway below. And then if you do both those, you'll be automatically entered into our monthly golf giveaway. And that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions about the cart down below, and we will see you in the next video.